नमस्कार, मतपत्र न्यूज में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं आयुषी मिश्रा और आज हम बात करने वाले हैं इंडिया पाकिस्तान के बीच की जंग के बारे में। हमारे साथ हैं रिटायर्ड कर्नल शर्मा और आज हम उनसे पूछेंगे कुछ जरूरी बातें। सो कर्नल शर्मा, थैंक यू फॉर कमिंग हियर।
थैंक यू सो मच।
आपके हिसाब से इस टाइम बॉर्डर पे जो सिचुएशन चल रही है वो कितनी सीरियस है?
एज फार एज द सीरियसनेस किसी भी हमारे जो मिलिट्री टर्म्स में कंसिडर किया जाता है उसमें ये देखा जाता है कि जब हमारी आर्मी अपने हाई कैलिबर वेपन्स को यूज़ करती है और हमारे जो एयर डिफेंस के एसेट्स व्हेन दे आर पुट इनटू यूज, तो इसका मतलब सिचुएशन काफ़ी सीरियस है। दिस इज द एग्जैक्ट सीरियसनेस ऑफ अ सिचुएशन जब हम जिसको डिस्क्राइब करते हैं, दैट इज बेसिकली दिस द इशू। एंड in today's scenario, seriousness is basically a test for the willingness and the intent of our political leaders. And this time, there are very clear instructions. Those have been given by the Prime Minister, and we are exactly following it and going by in the exact letter and spirit what has been told to us.
हमें ये जानना है कि एलओसी पे जो सिचुएशन हो रही है, क्या वो कोई बड़े सिचुएशन में एस्केलेट होने वाली है या इसका कोई कोऑर्डिनेशन है?
नहीं, अभी की जो वॉर है, इफ यू सी इट फ्रॉम दिस एंगल, बिकॉज हम दोनों स्टेट्स जो कंट्रीज जो हैं दे आर व्हाट यू कॉल न्यूक्लियर पावर्स। अभी इस स्टेट में इट कैन नॉट टर्न आउट टू बी अ फुल फ्लेज्ड वॉर ऑन बोथ द साइड बिकॉज certain aspects have taken into consideration, and no country as of now, because there are so many factors those are responsible, जो इसमें responsible होते हैं, international pressures होता है, diplomatic fronts होते हैं, कई factors होते हैं जिसमें कि आपको coordinated effort देखनी पड़ती है. But as of now it is not going to turn into a full-fledged war, but still it is slightly a limited offensive but with a high intensity. That is what is going to be there.
So one more thing, अभी एलओसी पे जितने घुसपैठ हो रहे हैं, लोग इन्फिल्ट्रेट कर रहे हैं अलग-अलग जगह से, उसके बारे में आपका क्या कहना है?
इन्फिल्ट्रेशन आज के सिनेरियो में इज डिफरेंट, और प्रीवियस में जो नॉर्मली इन्फिल्ट्रेशन यूज्ड टू टेक प्लेस एज फार एज द एलओसी इज कंसर्न्ड इन द जेएनके सेक्टर। बट आज की जो इन्फिल्ट्रेशन है वो एक it's a stage managed or proxy war that is created by your enemies to disrupt you in your internal functioning so that you get engaged in two fronts. That is the basic aim जिसमें infiltration का role होता है. Okay. That is what is their aim is, and it's a proxy war that is done on both the axes.
आपने एक्टिव वॉर खुद से देखा है, you have been present in the war field and everything. How do you think is the mood of the people around it? Soldiers का कैसा वहाँ mood रहता है?
I have not participated exactly in the active war, but we have worked in. I've served in a counter-insurgency operations area for around 3 years. I was there deployed in the JNK, which is the hotbed as of today. The morale of our troops, as far as our troops are concerned, I'm very confident that Indian troops are the best as far as their morale is concerned. But the only thing is, Indian troops or any army has to be given a very clear-cut instructions what is to be done and what they are expected to do. So the morale of our troops are very high, and I feel although they have been given a free hand to operate, but with certain restrictions on the international pressure has to be taken into consideration कि कैसे चल रहा है उसका. But troops are the best. As far as I am as a soldier, I consider my troops are to the best.
I also want to ask कि पहले के फ्रीडम से अभी के फ्रीडम्स में लाइक आपको कितनी फ्रीडम मिली है बॉर्डर्स पे, आपका उस पे क्या कहना होगा?
Earlier, if you see the Balakot incident or the Uri incident, because all these things and what present state is, Indian army has been given a free hand, which was openly told by the Prime Minister on a front and on all these occasions, that they've been given a free hand to operate as per what is the best as far as the country is concerned, to safeguard the interest and sovereignty of the country. So they have been given a free hand, but earlier there used to be certain restrictions, but there may be some political issues and some political restraints at that point of time. But by the time from the time 2014, when Prime Minister Modi has taken over the reins as a Prime Minister of India, So in that case, he has given a free hand to the Indian Army, and specifically and specially for this incident of the Pahalgam incident, he has totally given the free hand to Indian Army to operate, to coordinate, and to put it into action. That is what is there.
सो कुछ एनालिस्ट का कहना है कि इंडिया को एक फिर से एक तगड़ा जवाब देना चाहिए ताकि उनको सबक मिले, पाकिस्तान आर्मीज को और पाकिस्तान के पूरे मुल्क को एक सबक मिले। आपको क्या लगता है, रिटेलिएशन अच्छा है या रिट्रीट?
No, no. Retreat has never been a solution as far as the forces are concerned. Retaliation with a limited offensive, keeping in mind, because the thing is, the moment your enemies start interacting, not interacting, but start bombing or affecting your civilian areas or your military installations, then it has to be replied in the same fashion. It has to be much more than what has been come to you. That is the only way a war has to be fought. That is the only way when you tell the enemy that we are not on a weak front, we have got a strong backing, we have got a strong force, and we are going to react in a different fashion. We are not going to take things lying down. ये बहुत clear और message होना चाहिए, and this time the message is very clear to the Pakistani or the enemies that what you'll do, we'll do it 10 times than what you deserve.
आई वॉन्ट टू आस्क, अभी तक इंडिया आर्मी ने जो रिस्ट्रेंट शो किया है वो किस हद तक अच्छा है और किस हद तक थोड़ा सा इंडिया को पीछे कर सकता है?
नहीं, इसको if you see the overall scenario after the Pahalgam, what the Indian Army has done, it has taken a considerable time to coordinate all the efforts and to coordinate on, because there has to be a coordination of all the three forces, and which has been done in a very systematic and a calibrated way. They have done it. और इसमें जब फर्स्ट सॉटीज जो इन्होंने की थी इन 9 places, they have only targeted the militant establishment where the training camps are there across the border without crossing the line of control. That has been done, which cannot be considered as an act of war, because you are not hitting the civilian population, you are not damaging the military installations. That cannot be taken as an act of war. But day before, when the entire operation started, Pakistan Army has bombed in the Pathankot sector, Rajouri sectors, the civilian areas, where certain civilian, Punch area, the civilian, jahan ki civilians are being. That is the time the Indian Army took a stand and they have reacted to it. It is not the Indian Army has taken the first stand. Indian Army has taken a stand the moment they fired and shelled our civilian areas, our installations. That is the time. We will never restrain. If you restrain, it is taken as a weakness. That what the Pakistan has in his mind, that India is not going to react. But now the things have changed. Total 360 degrees. The entire scenario has changed. We are one of the 4 largest army in the world, and we are a strong army with all the amount of, if you see in the past few years, the amount of defense expenditure that has gone in is basically to equip our army with more sophisticated weapons without much of interference. It's all technology. So that they can, without crossing the LOC, they can fire into the enemy territory. That is what it is. So restraint has never been this thing. Restraint has always been taken as a weakness, which India is not going to take it lying down this time.
इसमें ग्लोबल एंगल का क्या है? क्या वो कोई इंटरवीन करेगी या हम लोग को कुछ उस पे एक्शन लेना होगा?
नहीं, India has been very doing it. Why this has taken so much of time? Because India has been countering Pakistan on the diplomatic front also. As far as if you have gone through the statement of US Vice President J.D. Vance, he said it is none of our business. That you have to sort out a business between India and Pakistan. We are not going to differ as of now. But on the other hand, Donald Trump has what he has mentioned is, उन्होंने कहा कि India should maintain a restraint because both are nuclear powers. So that has to be taken into consideration because of the entire global situation has to be considered. Otherwise, there is no interference. Maximum, if you see, countries have not reacted too much to this. They've just said to maintain a restraint. That's all. But no additional forces or additional powers are being given to your enemies to escalate the war. That is not there.
डू यू थिंक वी आर एट अ पॉइंट कि यहाँ से इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मामला थोड़ा सा सॉल्व हो सकता है? लाइक ऑल ऑफ द कंट्रीज अदर प्लेस लाइक फॉरेन establishment, they have been telling India to control, they are telling Pakistan to control. तो डू यू थिंक कि इसके बाद हम लोग एक ऐसे सहमति पे पहुंच सकते हैं जहाँ पे कारगिल टाइप का सिचुएशन दोबारा ना हो सके?
ऐसा है कि इस बार इंडिया ने जो व्हाट एज फार एज दिस माय पर्सनल ओपिनियन दैट आई फील दैट दिस प्रॉब्लम ऑफ इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान हैज बीन देयर फॉर क्वाइट सम टाइम, वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम, and it has become a sore problem with us. And this is my personal opinion that I am, as a soldier, what I'm trying to say is that this time it's a time to change the boundaries. You have to find a permanent solution to all these problems which have been asked, because that all these things are affecting your internal security, your country internal problems are being escalated by them. But this is the time when I feel that the boundaries have to be changed. Indian boundaries have to be changed, and the enemy has to be taught to stay in his boots. That's what I say. ये मेरा पर्सनल ओपिनियन है. Diplomatically, politically, there are so many things, but as a soldier, I feel that way.
एक आखिरी सवाल आपसे, ये जो यंग जनरेशन ये पूरा इंडो पाकिस्तान वॉर अभी देख रही है, उनके लिए आपका क्या मैसेज है?
तो यंग जनरेशन, मेरा सबसे पहला मैसेज तो है कि दे शुड नॉट फॉल ट्रैप टू ऑल दिस फेक न्यूज़ दोस आर बीइंग फ्लोटेड, बिकॉज ये तो प्रोपेगेंडा होता है, एनिमी पुट्स इन सो मेनी फेक न्यूज़. दे शुड डिपेंड and analyze the situation, depend on the authenticated source from where the information is coming, that either some defense PROs is giving some interviews or his statements, or from the Ministry of Home Affairs. Those are responsible agencies. Those are giving the news. Fake news should not be, and should not be percolated to other people also. They have to see the validity of that news, which otherwise, because that is going to affect you. Everyone feels that I am an Indian, I should go for a war and this Pakistan should be eliminated, because there are so many other things also. Because they have to do it, because they are, that is what you see. आप देखते हो कि यार कैसे अपने आप को प्रोजेक्ट करोगे. No country, nobody wants to prove himself or to project himself कि I am weak. चाहे उस अभी जैसे अभी F-17 का किया था, डाउन किया था इंडियन फोर्सेस ने, तो इनिशियली तो पता ही नहीं था. उन्होंने कहा कि हमने 5 प्लेन्स गिरा दिए, बट दैट वाज नॉट देयर. That was not there because Indian planes have not, Indian Air Force has not crossed the LOC. They have stayed in their own airspace और वहीं से उन्होंने ऑपरेट किया. तो ये जो फेक न्यूज आती है कि इतने लोग खड़े हैं, अभी भी चल रही है कि इतने so many people are ready to be infiltrated या mercenaries are to be infiltrated, that is all fake news, because it is not कि we have opened our borders. We have got, when the things escalate, जब escalate होती है तो आपकी जो border security force होती है, which is the first line of defense initially till the time the actual war has been declared, तो वो लोग भी active होते हैं. They have their responsibility. They are there to safeguard the things. It is not an open walk through way कि जिससे भी militants और insurgents आ जाएंगे, ठीक है ना. तो that such news are to be कितने मर गए, इतने ये हो गए, all these are fake news. But the only thing is, my request to the people and young generation is, you should support our forces. We just want your moral support. Rest, we are there to set this course. This is what I feel.